Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, I'm doing another video, and today we're going to be talking about stitch. Oh, no, not this stitch. These kinds of stitches. As you can see in this fabric, I kind of really quickly put together both the top stitch and the bottom stitch are pretty much equal. This is what your stitches need to look like when you're sewing your fabrics together. However, I thought I might help a few of my viewers about the tension adjustments that you'll need to make. As you can see in the diagram that I have made to illustrate the problems you might encounter during your sewing adventures, I wanted to briefly talk about what you would need to do. Now, as you can see, what I showed you before on this is going to be pretty much what it looks like here. The loops, as you can see, are a normal stitch, and they are located pretty much equal or center line of the two fabrics that you're sewing together. The proper tension is correct for both the top and the bottom tensioners. Now, as you can see, this is your tensioner that you're going to need to really remember that this is what controls the top thread. This is what controls your bottom thread. So, now that we've established this, let's move on. Now, in figure 2, it shows you an incorrect tension on the upper thread. If you can see this when you're sewing, the upper thread is too tight. You'll need to decrease the tension. In other words, you're going to turn this knob to a lower number. So you'll be turning it to the right, to the left. That should correct it. As you can see, the loop is at the surface of your fabric on the top. And then if you turn it over, it would look like this on the bottom, where you wouldn't even see a proper stitch. It wouldn't look correctly. Now, the third figure illustrates another type of incorrect tension of the upper thread. As you can see, it is similar to the second figure. However, the tension problem is reversed. You can see that your top thread is coming down and it's looping on the bottom side of the bottom fabric. This is when you're going to have to increase the tension. So you'll come up here to this point and you will increase by turning towards the right. So you'll be turning just like this. Okay, so now if you can imagine that you're sewing, and when the stitching is unsatisfactory in both figures 2 and 3, your lower thread tension requires less adjustment frequently than the upper tension, so that you won't really need to bother this one as much as you will this one. However, there are situations in which you would have to adjust the lower thread if the problem still occurs. So, when it still may cause the tensions to be too tight, you will have to go to your bobbin, because the bobbin is obviously the one that's creating the issue. And as I've told you before, when it comes to the bobbin, if you turn the bobbin clockwise, that's going this way, it will increase the tension. If you want to decrease the tension, you will go counterclockwise. If it doesn't correct itself, then you may have another situation in which you may have to change your needle. Your needle may possibly be dull. And this does happen, and it can happen frequently. It all depends on how often you sew. And just remember, when you get into this situation or you get into this situation, your fabric isn't going to look right. It's going to pucker. It's going to make it, it's going to look weird like this, you know, and you'll have puckers in it, and that is an indication of your tension problem. So I hope this video helps you understand the importance of the tension on this machine, and that you can utilize this to learn a little bit more about how to make your adjustments for the fabrics that you're using. Like I said before in the previous video, you can adjust your tensions as needed for the material that you're working with, because it does change. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And as always, happy sewing!